Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Home Sweet Classroom. Thanks for coming by and visiting me and joining me here in my teaching journey. And if you are new, welcome. My name is Maritza and I'm an elementary teacher. In today's video, I wanted to share with you guys just what I'm doing at home teaching remotely to my little third graders, and just kind of give you an idea of what it is like and what I'm currently using to teach online, and what tools and resources that I'm using to make this experience the best as possible. So please join my family here on Home Sweet Classroom if you are not yet subscribed, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm currently using a number of different tools that I have available online, and some resources and curriculum that we have been provided by our school. So to start with, I'll go ahead and start with the curriculum because that's the easiest thing. Right now I'm currently using to teach my students for math and reading the curriculum that we've already been provided with, and I'm just following through with the resources that we have already. My students have their books, so we're going to go ahead and send the books home, their math books home, and they're able to use their math books and follow along with my pages. So the great thing about this though is that I'm able to give them the assignment, but I'm actually making video tutorials for my students on Screencast-Omatic. I hope I'm saying that right. Screencast-Omatic, our district gave us, or our technology person at school gave us this idea, and it was fantastic. Hello third graders, welcome back to our next reading lesson. Today's reading lesson, we're going to be reading a social studies article, and it's going to be super interesting. I promise you're going to enjoy this article. So at the very top you can see as well that it's a social studies article, and I'm going to start with our learning objective. Our objective today is going to be to read the social studies article and use what we've already learned, what's already in our minds that we've been learning about these last couple days, about finding the main idea and key details to understand it. So we're going to be using that, and we're going to build our knowledge on understanding this text through key details and the main idea. So let's get started. Some things that we're going to do before we just jump right in and read this article though are going to be to preview the text. Remember that picture walk? I loved it. I'm able to record myself in a smaller screen on the same screen that I am recording like the lesson, and I can give the lesson, and the cursor will make like a little bubble around the word or whatever I am pointing at, which is really, really great. I think that this was really helpful because my students are able to see what I'm talking about and not just seeing my face and da-da-da-da-da, I'm just talking away, right? So I'm recording the lessons, and the other thing that I did was I went ahead and screenshot the page that I am working on from like the online resource, and then when it screenshot, I have a Microsoft computer, so when it screenshot the page, it led me to like a notebook page, and I am able to write on that page and highlight and use all the little tools on that page. I believe that it's the same for most computers once you screenshot a page. So then the Screen-O-Matic, I'm just putting the Screen-O-Matic on that page, and then it downloads the video, which is so amazing because I'm able to physically give a lesson to my students and be writing, and like as I'm talking I can write the equation on there. Super fantastic. I love it. And it doesn't take very long to download. It doesn't take very long to upload either, and it's super user friendly. You don't need a subscription. I believe there are some features you can unlock if you have a paid subscription, but I'm just using the free subscription, and I'm able to video record myself or whatever image or video that I would like for up to 15 minutes. That is amazing because honestly, using YouTube can be a little bit challenging because I have to record it, then I have to edit it, then I have to upload it, and not all of my students have complete, or not my students don't have complete access to YouTube, although they do have like just certain things that it's blocked. So I didn't want that to come in the way and just I didn't want that to be an issue. So that leads me to the next item that we use provided by our curriculum, which is the reading lessons, is already together with the same curriculum. iReady is what we use, and it's super easy. I do the same thing as well. I upload the picture form of the screenshot of the reading lesson, and then I record, and I ask students to pause in the middle of the video to read independently whatever passage is assigned. And then I go through the questions and highlighting, which is a really great tool because I want them to focus on like unknown words, text features, key details. So all of those things I'm doing through Screencast-Omatic as I'm recording the lesson, which is something that has been super helpful. Even my students have said it's super helpful, because honestly, we don't have all the same schedule to have a live meeting on a certain topic or lesson. So one thing that we use in our school is Microsoft Office, and through Microsoft Office, goodness, we use Teams for our remote learning class. So that is the platform that I put everything on there. Everything goes through Teams on top of Class Dojo. So I use those two things, Office 365 or Microsoft Teams, and I use Class Dojo. So those are the two means of a way communication that I have between my parents and my students. And my classroom has literally just moved into Office 365 on Teams. It's so funny. And that's kind of where I put, that is where I put everything. So I'll communicate through parents through Dojo, and then we will put everything in Teams. So let me explain and a breakdown of what I have in Teams, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like in the view of Office 365 on Teams, and how I put everything into that platform so my students have access to it. So then the very next thing that I have is the social studies science. I'm using Flocabulary. Flocabulary is a paid subscription by my district, and it's so great. There are videos that are free on YouTube that kids have access to, which is wonderful. But if the paid subscription allows me access to put my class into Flocabulary, and they can watch the video, I can assign a quiz, I can assign a vocabulary game, a read and respond activity. So it gives me a number of things I can do, but there are some really engaging videos for students to watch while they're learning a certain topic. So for science and social studies this week, and maybe for the next week or so, I'll be using Flocabulary, and it's on landforms. So we studied landforms before we went on this experience. So I'm just gonna continue that for another week and a half, and then we'll move on to the next topic. But vocabulary has just been kind of a bridge of ideas and helping them understand the vocabulary and just being able to make those connections in a fun, meaningful, engaging way. And the next thing I'm using for science and social studies is videos. So in addition to vocabulary, I have different videos that my team has come up with that relate to the topic that we are learning. So the real world videos that help with learning the concepts of the different characteristics of landforms and freshwater, saltwater, all of that good stuff. And then they have a video response packet that we gave them to take home last week, and in a packet. So they're able to take that packet and then physically write into the lines their video response. So the reason why we did that is because we don't want everything to be online. We did have some requests from parents to do some things that are paper copy. So we have like a mix of kind of things. So you'll hear me say they'll have their packets in several times in this video, because that's what parents were more comfortable with. So we're continuing to do that. It's helpful, they're learning, it's all good. The next thing I have is projects. So projects are something that I would like to assign. With the extension of our school being out for this long of a period, I thought I'd add or throw in there some projects they could do. I don't expect all of my students to be able to do these projects, of course, but I definitely want to give them the opportunity, even if it's something they could do online through an app and create something. I am totally fine with it. So I'll give them a number of ways to create something, and it's there if they want to use it. If they're not able to, totally okay. So projects that I have in mind for landforms are to create a landform using different items. They could either draw the landform and make their little island with all the different characteristics of landforms. So there are just like a lot of ways out there. Pinterest is overflowing with ideas for me. So different projects like that, and as we progress through this time period, I'll come up with different projects and then have that available for them. So the other thing is Quizlet and Kahoot. If you're not familiar with Quizlet and Kahoot, please go check it out because they're awesome. They are both free. I believe there's like parent versions and teacher versions, and they are free. So some ways I'm using it through Quizlet is for social studies and science, some vocabulary words that I want them to make sure they know, and they can match them, they can play games. Kind of the same as vocabulary, but just there's no video. And then for Kahoot, there are interactive games for students and kids to do in teams. There are ways to do it in the classroom that are super fun. But in this case, you could do it as an independent, and it makes it easy just for practice. And Kahoot and Quizlet doesn't have to be for social studies and science only. It could be for math, it could be for reading. There are so many already created vocabulary words or Quizlet words and concepts in Kahoot and Quizlet that are available, and you don't have to create anything. All you do is put the topic in, and a bunch of them come out from other people that are amazing that made them already for you and available. And for writing and word work, what I'm doing is something a little bit more simple. Just because I'm still learning all of this process, I'd like for it to grow into something else, but for now I'm keeping it a little bit more simple. For writing, I'm giving them a daily journal jot, which is something we were already doing in the classroom. I put out a whole March calendar for them, and they are just to follow each day, and they're just like fun journal jots, and they're in the theme of the month, so they're able to just get a piece of paper and write their journal jot. And then I've given some of them ideas to like make a booklet out of it, and create like a whole like pamphlet from all of their collection of writing, or they could just staple it and turn it in later. Some of them have gone out to buy journals to write their journal jots in, which is totally cool. It's really great that they're making what they have do with what they have. So then I have that, so that's the journal jot. And for word work, I'm thinking about doing like a daily fix it. This is the book that I have. I'm gonna pull it out really quickly. This is the book that I purchased, and this is the 3rd grade version. It's a daily language review. I'm thinking about using this for my word work. I would say of course this is not something that is a word work appropriate, I guess you could say better, but it's something that maybe I was thinking about integrating into like a daily fix it, so that I know they're getting a little bit of practice in different areas, like fixing sentences and synonyms, antonyms, different areas of focus. So I bought this one a while back on Amazon. I have the 2nd grade one as well. I really like these, so I was debating to put it on and then do it like during my morning meeting, which I'll talk about in just a minute, or just having them do it like in a Google Forms or something. I don't know. Share with me some ideas that you have. I really do like using the daily fix it because it really helps them or for me to see and just practice for them. So that is what I have like for word work, and of course I use vocabulary as well. The other thing is for morning meetings. For morning meetings, I use slides for my agenda. I post them every single morning, and I've gotten into posting them for the whole week, and then I'll just add a day every day into my Google slide, and it'll pop up right there for them as well. It's really, really helpful. I've gotten so much positive feedback from my parents and from students that they're able to see, just like in a to-do list, what they're supposed to be doing for that day. They can see my office hours, and then I throw in a positive quote each day. It's super helpful and super easy to make. The template that I pulled up is from the Lettered Classroom. She's amazing. Go check her out. And then they're just my students were already familiar with these slides because I used them in my classroom every morning. They looked a little bit different in my classroom, except for the Bitmoji. I love the Bitmojis, they're so fun. And I also, for my morning meeting, I also do video calls that are live chats with my students, and that is through Teams. So I schedule a call every single morning at 9. They hop on. Those can come. If they are not able to join us in our live video call, it is recorded. I have the capability to record it, and then it posts for them to look at it later. In my morning meeting call, I just talk about like today's agenda. I talk about just like a daily check-in. I would like to do like a read aloud during my morning meeting, but I don't have a lot of students who participate. So I think more than likely just a check-in is kind of nice for them, just to kind of see my face and just talk a little bit and just kind of check in on each other. I'm thinking about doing like an activity, because in our classroom for morning meeting, we would always have an activity. So those who can join, it'd be fun to do like a little activity, a shout out. We would do different types of activities, and I've seen a bunch online that are making it like virtual, possibly virtual activities to do. So I'm thinking about throwing that into my morning meetings as well. So the next thing is my read alouds, and my read alouds, I'm currently using Storylineonline. It is free, it is so awesome, and some of those are even available on YouTube, and they have a number of books. It's so nice to have this because somebody's actually reading aloud a book to them. I didn't get a chance to pull out a bunch of books before I left, so I went ahead and used Storylineonline for the read alouds until I can get some books that are like aligned with what I want them to be learning about. I put a lot of books out there for the first week focused on theme, because that's what our reading lesson was focused on. And the great thing about the Storylineonline is it actually gives you like teaching lessons. So you're able to print that out, and it gives you like a number of different teaching lessons with the standard, the objective, the goal, and just a bunch of information that you can use to teach about this book. So that's really, really great to have, and just a really great resource to be able to use if you're going to use a book that's being read aloud. I also have thrown in there some books that I read on St. Patrick's Day. I read a book to my students. I just recorded it on my computer and then uploaded it right from my computer. It was really, really simple, but I read the book for St. Patrick's Day, and I wore my St. Patrick's Day hat because we were out on that day. And I have also word study on there. For word study, I am using Spelling City. I am using the free version. A lot of teachers have switched over to the paid version. I'm still using the free version, and I'm hoping that that's gonna be good enough for now. If I feel like I need to do the paid version, then I'll pay for it, and it'll be good for a year. All is good. But right now I'm using the Spelling City free version, and our district uses Words Their Way. I have right now 6 different groups. So I just use my book for Words Their Way, and then I assign all of the spelling words into each group categorized by fruit is what I have it as, and they have access to it from home. And then they take their spelling tests. Like for example, today they took their spelling test, and their parents just send me through Dojo their score, and it's that easy. Okay, so the next part in my list here of different topics that I cover with my students is going to be the questions and answers channel. So I have a specific area where students are able to ask me questions, and I can respond with an answer, and they're all in one place, one house. So one thing that I really find difficult with or challenging with this whole e-learning process is just getting to everybody's questions. So in Teams, my students are able to ask a question within this channel, and it's all in one place. So I know if students have questions, it will alert me to my phone, to my watch, my Apple Watch, or my computer, and I can go in and answer the question right away, and then it'll send a message right to them as well that I have responded to the question. It's really, really nice to be able to have an area where my students know, okay, if I ask a question, I'm gonna find it here. So I really think it's important to find an area, either video chatting or using any other means of of a platform, to be able for your students to have access to you to ask you questions. And I also have another area where students can have fun. So the next part is I have a channel for my students to chat on, and it's also like a recess platform. So within Teams, I've created an area where they can just like chat back and forth and respond, get as many gifts as they want, and do any funny stuff on there. And they also I'm also able to post like any recess activity. So the other day I posted a scavenger hunt for them to do, and it was so much fun. I gave them a chance. I put it out there for them to do, and if they want to use it, it's there, and if not, it's all good. And I'm able to chat with them. Often they'll come on in the morning and right away jump onto the classroom chat area and recess, and then they'll just like say, hi, Miss Laura, and it alerts me right away when I have somebody who is asking a question or has a new notification is what it does. So it's kind of nice for my students to be able to connect in that way, because of course they miss each other and they want to talk to each other and they want to see each other, but we can't during this time. So that is a way that I have incorporated in a means for them to be able to talk to each other and just be able to still communicate, is what I wanted this little spot in our classroom to be. And I also have a spot for attendance. So one fun way that my school was doing attendance was by doing a poll. I thought this was really cool. I just click on whatever poll or whatever answer I want, and then it directly tells me like who has responded, and that's just a way for me to see who's attending, who's participating, and who's there. So I open up the poll at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and then I don't close the poll up until 10 p.m. So it gives them plenty of time to respond to the poll, and just if they forget, they can always go back to the attendance channel and then respond to the poll. Super easy. Lately, I've been doing a would you rather question. I've done questions like, would you rather climb a tree or go swimming? Would you rather play a video game or play outside? Would you rather go swimming? So things like that. Would you rather questions are just fun and easy, and they just select one and it tells me who's participated, and then I could take attendance that way as well. The other part in my channels I have is the afternoon message. So in the afternoon message is kind of similar to our morning meeting message or morning meeting room, and they're pretty much the same. So I mentioned before in my Instagram that our school is requiring us to do more live meetings, more classroom chats that are live. So I've created a morning channel or morning meeting and an afternoon meeting, and they could either join both, or they can either join either or. Both of them are recorded. They kind of cover the same things. Today, for example, I did a meeting call in the afternoon. I only had 4 participate, very, very low from my 19 in my class. And I actually went over the math lesson, but if students aren't able to join and they still need to review the math lesson that was posted, they can always go back and look at that video. So it's recorded and posted, and they can see the video as well. Now, the purpose in the morning meeting and the afternoon meeting is so that there is more participating. So if not all can participate in the morning, they can come and jump on in the afternoon. It is still very new, so I think maybe within a week I'll have more participating. They just kind of need to get used to the time, of course, keeping up with the time, and just getting used to the whole online learning process. So it's really easy to get confused in all of this mess, but I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for my students. Teams has made it really, really easy for us because we're able to see so much more than just one place where I post a video. I can categorize it, I can sort it, I can make an announcement, it sends them direct messages. It's really, really great. There are other ways that are available, like Google Classroom. You can use YouTube. There are so many different ways to create a classroom online version and be able to speak to your students in that form. So this is just the way I'm currently doing it, and I'm tweaking here and there, of course, making it better. Things change and I have to change it to accommodate my students, to accommodate our learning process online. But I'm constantly keeping in communication with my parents, because they need to know if something has changed. I send them a dojo. If I'm posting and announcing something, I send them a dojo, because I really need them to be able to communicate with me. And if it's not working, send out a poll. Let your parents know, like, is this working? Is this too much? Is this too little? How are we doing? So that is something I did too recently. Just yesterday, we posted a response. Maybe it was the day before yesterday. So we posted a message for parents to respond to as to how they were feeling. And all they did was select a letter, select the number. A, this is working just fine. B, I need paper material and only paper material and pencil. Or C, this combination is too much. So, and then they pick the number, what's working. Is it too much? 1, too little, 2, and it's just fine, 3. So really easy ways to make your parents, to be able to make your parents like respond with some kind of feedback. It's super helpful. Parents feel a lot better with the asking for feedback from them, because it's really important to have that communication. So that's currently what I'm doing in my classroom, my e-learning remote classroom. It's so interesting to have this being said out loud, I think. I think it's something that I wasn't expecting I'd be doing, but I'm here, I'm doing it, it's all good. We are in this together, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found some resources and tools that are useful. And if you did, go ahead and share them down below. If you have something you want to share and that you find really useful, share it down in the comments. We'd all love to hear it, because like I said, we're all in this together. We are all learning, and I think now is the time to help each other the most as possible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up for me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!